Hey guys, this is the new platformer tutorial. I stopped working on the other one quite a while ago because it was one of those things where I just jumped into it and didn't really plan it out, and as such everything was all messy and disorganized, and that really put me off a little bit from continuing that series because everything was just sprawled out, and I wasn't motivated to try to do anything about it. But now I decided to just suck it up and create a new platformer series. This time I have created the game first, and I tried to organize it as best I could. The main point of this series is to try to teach you guys how to organize your games. I'm not saying my way is the best or it's the only way. I'm just here to give you guys ideas. So, before we get started, I am going to show you what I have done so far. I only just started working on it a couple of days ago, so I don't have a whole lot of it finished. Can't see the whole screen. Oh well. Anyway, so I only have one level that's not finished yet. I have the basic stuff, moving around, jumping, some attacks. I have this gliding thing. It looks exactly like Knuckles from Sonic 3. I didn't even intend that. Anyway, got a projectile attack here, and that's pretty much it. I haven't really done the rest of the level. It's pretty much over right here. This is the boss room. So the tile map gets locked into place, and this is where you have to beat the boss. So that's that. I'm gonna be using Eclipse now because a lot of people who are watching are using Eclipse also, and they've been having problems with having Eclipse finding their files, like the map files. They can't find it, and Eclipse can't find it, so they get a black screen, or like the image files they can't find. So I'm here to hopefully fix all that. So file, new Java project, and I'm gonna call this Dragon Tail tutorial. Yeah, I couldn't think of a better name than Dragon Tail. I know it's lame. So here, what is this? OSGI minimum 1.2. Okay, if yours does not say like JRE whatever, go into here, right click here, properties all the way at the bottom, and here, what is this? So go here, Java build path, libraries, add jar, or not jar, library, JRE system library, next, default, finish. Here I'm going to remove this one. I don't know why it was there in the first place. So make sure you're using JRE 7 or 6 or whatever you're using. Okay, there we go. Okay, so first thing we want to do is create a new folder, and we're going to call this resources. This is where we will put all of the map files and stuff, and image files, pretty much anything we need to import into the game. What we have to do next is right click resources, go to build path, use as source folder. So now this will be included during the compiling phase, I guess. And I have all of these sprites, map files, backgrounds, everything that we need for the game in here. I'm going to have a link in the description for all of this. It's not a huge download, I think. Yeah, it's like 10 kilobytes. So we're gonna drag and drop that into the resources folder. It should be in here. Cool. So now we're gonna get started with the game. Go over here to the source. We're gonna add a new package called main, and this is where we will put our two classes, game and game panel. So first with game, import Java dot import JFrame, and this is gonna have our main function. This is the entry point. So JFrame window is new JFrame dragon tail. Window dot set content pane to the game panel. Set default close operation, JFrame dot exit on close, and set resizable false, tack, and set visible. Cool. So game panel. Now we're going to move into here. This is going to be a JPanel. So this first video is going to be kind of uneventful. I'm just going to set up the heartbeat, the game loop of the game. So I'm going to do some stuff here. Public static final int width. This is going to be a 320 by 240 game. And I'm just simply going to scale it by 2. So that the final size is 640 by 480, which is the, I guess, standard size for games, for old school games. And let me just move this down a little bit. Game thread. Here we're going to make the thread, private thread. We need a boolean for running. FPS, this is going to be at 60. I'm sure my laptop can handle it. It's only a 2D game. My laptop is crappy too. It's got an integrated graphics chip. Okay, so that is good. And we need the image, the canvas that we will be drawing on. Buffered image. And cool thing about Eclipse is that you can just click on the import button and there it is. I guess it's cool or convenient, I'm not sure. So constructor time, game panel. I'm not even sure about this super, if we need to call that. That's whatever, I'll just leave that there. Set preferred size, new dimension. And this time the game again is going to be scaled up by 2, so width times scale, height times scale. Oh, you can't see the edge there. Let's see if I can move this. Oh, wrap, text wrap. How do I wrap? There's no wrap? Really? Project, properties, or something. Never mind. Let me just move it back. That is sad. I can't find the word wrap. Anyway, I'm just gonna move this to the new line here so you can see it. So that's pretty much just it. We need to import import everything there because that's needed for dimension. So set preferred size, set focusable true, and request focus. So now we're going to import one more thing, event .event, and here we are going to implement runnable and implement, oh man, screen size, implements runnable and what do you call it? Key listener. That's right. Anyway, what's this? Right. Since we've implemented this, Clips got mad at me and says I have to implement the key type, key pressed, and key released. I'll do that later. So request focus. Now we are going to do public void add notify super.add notify. Again, this is just means that the game panel is done loading, so I can go ahead and start with creating a new thread. If thread is null, thread is new thread, and I'm going to give it this thread.start. Oh, but before thread starts, I'm going to add the key listener too. There we go. So now thread start is going to run public void run. We also need the 3 key functions: public void key typed, key event key, and key pressed and key released. Pressed, released. Okay. So public void run. The first thing we want to do is call something called init. Private void init. This will just initialize everything that we need to initialize, like the image. This new buffered image. New buffered image. This is going to be width, height, and buffered image.type int RGB. Don't mind the spacing here, the new lines. It's just that the edge of the screen is over here, and it would just go off the screen. So that's that. Image is that. Graphics 2D G, and running set to true. And I guess that's it for now. So over here, this is our game loop. While running, we're going to do 3 things: update, draw, and draw to screen. And I'm going to put those right here. Private void update, private void draw, and private void draw to screen. Can't type. Okay. So draw to screen is very, very simple. It's just graphics G2. I'll call it G2 since G is already used. And this is just going to be the game panel's graphics object. And I'm going to use G2 to draw our canvas image. What the hell? Okay, image 00 null. Okay, and G2.dispose. I really don't like that thing where it just fills in all the arguments for you. It's weird. One day I'm gonna find out how to turn that off. Also autocomplete. Anyway, so before the game loop, we're gonna need 3 timers: start, elapsed, and wait. We're gonna start this timer here. Well, it's not really a timer; it's more of a just timestamp. Elapsed is going to be system.nanotime, or yeah, system.nanotime minus start, and wait is going to be target time minus elapsed divided by 1,000,000, since target time is in milliseconds but elapsed is in nanoseconds, so I have to divide it by 1,000,000. And now just wait that amount of time. Thread.sleep, wait, catch, exception E. Here again, like a lot of people are having problems with black screens. That's because I forgot to put in E.print stack trace, so they had no idea there was a problem in the first place. Always when you catch exceptions, print the stack trace, so you know something happened. Anyway, so that's pretty much the game loop there. Yeah, so the next thing we are going to do is, 15 minutes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new package. This is going to be called game state. And here we will put all of our game states. So create a new class. This first one is going to be called game state manager. Alright. And we're going to need to import a couple of things. We need an array list. I mean, you don't have to use an array list, but I like to use the array list because it's convenient, I guess. We're going to use an array list to hold all of our game states. Like that. So public game state manager. This is the constructor. We're going to initialize our array list of game states. New array list, game state. And we also need a current state, an int current state. The current state is going to be the index of the game state in the list. So for example, if I do game states.add new menu state, this, so menu state is the first game state in the list, so current state would be 0, since that's the one that I want to start off with. So but I'm going to use these public static final ints like enum type things to signify the index. So here current state is menu state, which is 0. Also have another one, level 1 state, which is 1, and I will add that later in a different video. I'm not going to get to the actual game play. I'm just going to set up the game state manager for now. So we also need to be able to change states, and we're going to use public void set state to do that. Int state, and this is simple, it's just current state equals state, and game states.get current state, we're going to initialize the state that is current. If you really have no idea what's going on here, I do have a game state video, and I'm basically doing the same thing as what I did in that video. So check that out if you're thoroughly confused by this. Public void update. This is simple. Game states.get current state dot update public void draw java.auth.graphics2dg. I don't need to import that. I can just manually call it java auth graphics2d. Anyway, this is pretty much the same thing as this, except I'm going to be using draw here. And we need two more things, public void key pressed int k and public void key released int k. And I'm going to be using the same game state here, except these are going to be called key pressed, pass in k, and key released, pass in k. Cool. So that's pretty much it for the game state manager. If we go back to the game panel, we can actually use this, put it to use. So over here, one of the fields, game state manager, private game state manager GSM. Oh, what's this? Oh, I need to import it. That's cool. So make sure you import GameState.GameStateManager. It's in a different package. Right, forgot about that. So go down here to init. Here we're going to create a new GameStateManager. What? There's an error. GameStateManager is undefined. for type game panel. Oh, new game state manager. Wow, that was terrible. Ashamed of myself. Okay, so things we need to do is in update. This is very simple. This is just gsm.update, and in draw, likewise gsm.draw g. Same thing with key pressed and key released. gsm.key pressed, but instead of passing the key event key in here, we're going to be passing the key code, which is an int. So key released key.get key code. There we go. I have a warning up here somewhere. What is this? Serializable. Eclipse has this weird problem with serializable classes. I'm just going to I can't suppress the warning. What? I forgot how this goes. Suppress warning serial liable. I have no idea. I forgot how the warning suppressions go. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave that. So back in Game State Manager, we have a bunch of errors. It has no idea what a game state is, so we're gonna do that right now. Go into game state, add a new class, call it game state. So game state in the game state package. This is going to be an abstract class. We don't want anyone actually using the game state class itself. We want to extend off of it subclasses. So game state is just pretty much a blueprint. So everything here this is a very small class. Every game state will have a reference to the game state manager so that it can change states. It can call a set state. Public abstract void. It's going to have 5 public abstract void functions. Let's update draw, graphics 2D, and key pressed int k, and key released int k. Well, that got rid of most of the errors, I guess. Syntax error. Source level is 1.5. What is going on? Change project compliance and JRE to 1.5. That's interesting. Anyway, well, it went away. I'm not sure what just happened there. I'm using JRE 7. Anyway, game state. This is pretty much done. So we're going to create our first game state now. Add a new class. This is the menu state. And again, this is going to extends game state here. And the menu state is going to, the constructor is basically menu state. Again, every game state needs the reference to the game state manager. So this.gsm is equal to gsm. What's this? Right, I have to implement the abstract methods. So I'm going to do that here. Public void update, public void draw, graphics 2DG, public void, I forgot init, key pressed int k, and public void key released int k. Okay, graphics 2D not exist, so import java.auth everything. So we need a couple of things. First, background bg. This is a new class called background that I will show you I think it's best if I do it now or later. I'm gonna create a new package here. I'll just do it now, since it's very, very short, I guess. So create a new package. I'm gonna call this tile map. I guess I can put it in there. So new package tile map. We're gonna create a new class called background. And we're going to go back to menu state here, and we are going to import that class that we just made, .background. There we go. So here in the background class, we're going to have a buffered image, private double x, private double y, private double dx, private double dy, and private double move scale. This is the scale at which the background moves. So if we're moving right like 10 and the scale is like 0.1, then it's going at 10% the regular speed to create the parallax effect. Anyway, public background string s and double move scale. So we're going to do a try catch here, and this is how you import resource files into the game. Let me just move this down. So what we're going to do is first import java.image. So what we're going to do is image equals, let's import some more stuff first. Java x.imageio.imageio. Make sure to note the capitals. Image is equal to imageio.read. And this time, instead of passing in a file, we are going to pass in a resource. Get class.get resource as stream s. So this is a resource now because it's part of the resources folder, which is part of the build path. So that is the important thing. Put everything, all of our content files into this resources folder, and make sure that the resources folder is part of the build path. That way we can load all of these images and map files like this. Get class.get resource as stream. So catch exception E, again, print stack trace, always print stack trace. What else? Move scale. There we go. And we're gonna need public void setPosition double dx x double y. This is just this dot x is equal to x, this dot y is equal to y. Public void set vector. Here, if we want the background to automatically scroll, we can use the dx and dy. To do that, this dot dx is equal to dx, this dot dy is equal to dy. Public void update, and this isn't necessary, but if we are automatically scrolling it, if we did set the dx and dy, we have to call update as well. So here, public void draw, and all this is going to do is just draw the background. Import java.auth everything. So public void draw, g.draw image, background image at position x, at position y, null. And since this is a scrolling background, we have to make sure that it's always filling the screen. If the background is going to scroll to the left off of the screen, we have to make sure to draw another instance of the background to the right in order to fill up the space. So what's going to happen here is if x is less than 0, then we're going to draw an extra image at int x plus game panel.width all the way across. And let me just do this so you can see it. all the way across, and same int y null. Otherwise, oh, can't find game panel. Right, I have to import that. Import main.gamePanel. That's our class. Okay, so if x is less than 0, we have to draw an extra image to the right, and if x is greater than 0, we have to draw an extra image to the left. So image, this time we're going to draw int x minus gamePanel.width and int y null. Cool. So at any point in the game, there will always be a maximum of 2 of these at the screen at any given time. So that's background. Move scale. Oh, set position. Right. We're not. We need to use the scale here. So x times move scale actually. Mod gamePanel.width. We don't want this thing to keep going all the way off the screen. If it goes past the screen, then we want it to reset so it looks smooth scrolling. Same thing with y. And in the height direction, just like that. Okay, so that's background. We can go back to menu state and finish this up. Let me just bring that up here. Okay, so we have the background. We need a bunch of choices. String, options. I only have a few. Start, help, and quit. And we also have, we need to keep track of which choice we are currently selected. We need a color for the title, private color, title color. We need a font for the title, and we need a regular font, I guess, like that. So we're gonna fill all that up in the constructor here. Try again in a try catch, and again always print the stack trace. So try. Here we're gonna create the background, new background, and it's in backgrounds/menubg.gif, and with a scale of 1. So if you notice here, it's not resources/background, it's just simply background. Since the resources folder is part of the build path, it won't actually be part of the output. Instead, all of these are going to be the folders. So if you want to access something from backgrounds, you just do /background/menubg. So that's pretty much that. We're going to set the vector. We want this thing to be moving to the left at 0.1 pixels. Alright, we need the title color. Color is like a dark red, so RGB, red, green, blue. Title font is going to be, I always liked Century Gothic for some reason. Font.plain, size 28. Let me just bring this down here. New font, plain. Ugh, Jesus. Okay. So title font is new font, Century Gothic, font.plain, size 28. And the regular font is just going to be Arial, font.plain, size 12. So that's that. We have init. We don't really need anything for that. Update. We need to update the background. Draw. we need to draw the background. So draw bg.draw. That was simple. Next thing, we need to draw the title, which is again the title color. Set the color, set the font to title font, and draw string dragon tail. I've manually set this at position 80, 70. For practical use, you're going to want a function that automatically centers strings when you draw them, but I just did this manually because it's easier, 80, 70. Next, we need to draw the menu options. G.set font, we're going to use the regular font, and we're going to use a loop to go through the options. Options.length. If I is equal to current choice, then we want to set the color to something else, black. Otherwise, we're going to set the color to another color, let's say red. And then we're going to draw string, the menu option, options I dot, that's it, 145, 140 plus I times 15. Basically, it's just going to draw the menu items one after another, going downwards Y, 15 pixels for each, and key pressed and key released. So key release is going to be nothing, but key pressed is going to be important. This is where we handle the key events. If the user presses enter, can't see key event, so import that up here. Import Java auth event key event. If k is equal to key event.vk enter, then we're gonna use another function called select. We're gonna do that right now. Private void select. And this is really simple. If the current choice is 0, then obviously we've picked the start, the start one, the first one, start, help, quit. So if the current choice is 0, then I'll leave that blank for now. If current choice is 1, then we've picked the help, start, help. If current choice is 2 though, that's the quit. So this is just system.exit 0. So down here in key press, we also need to check if the key pressed is up, then we have to do something, and if the key pressed is down, we have to do something. And it's very simple. If we press up, current choice just goes down by 1, decrement. If current choice is -1 though, that means we went out of bounds and we want to bring it back to the bottom. So current choice is equal to options.length -1. Same thing for down. We want to increment the current choice, ++. If current choice is equal to options.length, we're out of bounds and we're going to set it back to 0. So that's pretty much that. I'm gonna try to run it, see what it looks like. Oh, application. Uh-oh, got thread out of bounds, null pointer exception. Input is null. Image IO dot read get class get resources stream s. That's interesting. I wonder what caused that. I gave it the right name, right? Background. Oh, it's backgrounds with an S. So it's /backgrounds /menu bg.gif. See if that works. Still doesn't work. Oh, image is null. What? I'm pretty sure I set that So back in menu state, new background, right, then update, then draw. That's interesting. This is null for some reason. I don't know why. If image is equal to null, let me just do a little debugging here. Image null. Whoa. It didn't print out. That's weird. Is G null? Wait, I think G is the one that's null. If G is equal to null, system.out.println G null. System.exit. G is null. What? What? That's weird. Okay. Let me just go back to game panel here. Let me see. I did set it. Init. G is equal to... Oh! What is this? Oh my god, that's terrible. Image.getGraphics. I have no idea why I wrote G equals G. That is bad. Anyway, let me get rid of this. See if it works now. There it is. Oops. I'm using the wrong background. Oh, snap. Don't mind that. That was the wrong menu background there. I was using a different one. Let me find it real quick. So that was the wrong background that I was using. I was actually using... I need to use this one. So I'm gonna replace this. Yeah, I'll put this in the description. I'll make sure to replace it. So drag and drop. There we go. So you'll notice that it's 320 by 240, but the game screen is 640 by 480. So what we have to do is scale it up. If we go back to game panel and go to draw to screen, draw image 0, 0, and here we're going to do width times scale and height times scale. Oops, can't really see it. Just move it down here. So image 0, 0, width times scale, height times scale, null. And that will stretch it out to fill the screen. So that's pretty much that. That's cool. I'm getting some exceptions here because the wait time is negative. So let's just put a thing here. If wait is 0, then wait is 5 or something. Hopefully the exceptions go away. Alright, no more. So that's pretty much that. Start does nothing, help does nothing, quit should quit, and it works. So that's enough for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.